TF4 Podcast, Year 2 with Marcus. You know why Pringles comes in a tube, right?
No.
So you have somewhere to poop when you're done. Cara.
Did you notice that your sausages were arranged to look like a penis on your plate?
Natasha.
Hey, yo, puss.
And Vox.
I did not think it was funny that she humped me from behind.
You have no filter.
We should have
Am I supposed to have a filter?
we should have a
This
dice that
podcast,
you roll.
this podcast is about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. Why do I need a filter?
Fair enough.
Like when whoever leads. I haven't led an episode in like
A long time.
I
It
don't
feels
think
like,
I've
yeah.
even led an episode.
I
Yeah, that's
haven't
actually
either.
true. I don't think she's led
All right,
one
fine.
in like
Tosh, this is
the
your
entire
episode
year.
then. You're
I
leading.
don't care
hate
about
winning.
it anymore.
I think you're right, though. We should roll die and see who rolls. Or
Yeah.
see who has to host.
1 through 4. We'll get
Yeah.
a 4.
I mean,
Is that
I was
thing?
thinking like a
Then you
D20
guys are
and
gonna fight
highest
over who's
roll.
gonna be number one.
Oh yeah, highest roll. That's a good idea. I just thought rolling a dice and then
It
I was
could
trying
be
to think about
a
how to do it.
D4 and like, yeah.
D4 would be funny. Because you could land on the same person over and over and
Yeah.
over again. It'd be funny. Just saying.
Okay, Tosh, your lead.
Do you guys have a thing?
We did.
You
I
don't
know what
remember
happened to it.
any of this?
No, because I don't ever lead.
It's always gone. I don't know. It
So
always moves.
What?
thanks for listening to TF4 Podcast.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I was Natasha.
You were Natasha?
Yeah, I was.
I have been.
I had a guy the other day that told me, he's like, I have a dog named Sasha. I was like,
Thanks
cool.
for
I was
sharing.
like, my ex-boyfriend named his dog Sasha after we broke up. And
Ew.
his parents were like, his whole family like brought it up to me. They were like, is it weird that his dog's name is Sasha? I was like, I didn't even think about it that way, but if you think it's like
It is
that,
now.
then-
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
But if you're listening right now, it's on Facebook. You can like
Yeah.
us on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook Live.
Why are you so bad at this?
I don't know. I
She's
need a
rusty.
script.
Why?
I literally have not led an episode this entire season.
But you don't remember that?
You, actually,
things
you
we say
did.
every day?
You did try to lead the episode with Tony and Shelby, I believe, but Fox was yelling at you.
I did?
I think you just kind of
so.
took over.
It
Yeah.
doesn't surprise
like
me.
always. You can also find us on Redbubble. And
Yeah.
Vox is the only one that doesn't have a sticker yet, right?
Yeah, because he hasn't figured his own
And
shit out
he
yet.
starts making stickers for other things. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
he
gotta
like
make your
whips all of
sticker.
our stuff out, and he's like, just forget about me.
Yeah.
It's
Well, he's
okay.
making like Galaxy donuts and stuff. I'm like, make your own sticker.
Galaxy donut, Galaxy ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Leave
Galaxy-
my Galaxy
what?
shit alone. I didn't show you those? They're really cool.
I have no idea what we're talking
They are really
you can
cool.
also look us up on TF4.com. We have all our episodes
Don't. Why are
uploaded
you looking
on
at
there.
me and asking me questions about it? Just
Um,
do the plugs. I hate doing the plugs.
I hate the plugs.
I hate them.
And also you can find us on YouTube, and I think all of our episodes are on there besides the
Yeah.
first 20.
We still
or
up to
whatever.
date, Vox?
We're up to date.
Cool.
And you can become a Patreon or patron. Sorry, Dustin. A patron.
Do you want to be a
Um,
Patreon? Oh, that could be a website.
Thanks, Dustin, the Loch Ness Monster, Steve, and
Sam.
Don't forget Sam. I sent
Good
him an
job, you got
invite
'em all.
too.
I think that's it.
Did you mention iTunes?
Oh, iTunes.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's special about
yeah.
iTunes?
the
This
podcast.
is where you can
app.
listen to us.
Yeah, but we're on all
Podcast
kinds of
apps
different
and
stuff.
Yeah.
Everything
Besides
except for the
Spotify.
What,
stupid
being
Spotify.
ones.
sponsored by Apple now? Just iTunes. Only listen to us.
It's the only
Go
one that
buy
matters.
an iPhone
Pod-
and listen to us on iTunes.
it's
You
the
can
only
get
one that matters.
iTunes.
Here's a
on
hint: you can listen
Samsung.
for free on Podcast Addict without having to pay for a subscription. So
You don't
fuck
have to pay
iTunes.
for iTunes. You don't have to pay for the
Subscription.
podcast.
You have to pay for an iPhone.
Okay, you have to pay for a Samsung too.
Yeah, they're cheaper.
You can listen
They're
to.
free
You can listen on iTunes.
on a computer.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
just sign up.
Anyway, I'm
I
Natasha.
don't want to sign up.
I'm Vox,
I'm Marcus.
I'm Cara.
and that was the thing.
Sorry that was so painful for Vox, but
This is what happens when you keep picking me and yourself and Mark instead of giving her a shot. to
Yeah.
talk.
I don't
Uh,
pick me at all.
you
Speaking of
do
which-
when I'm leading. You're like, I'm gonna lead instead.
No, not true.
Hi,
Very
Mom.
true.
Hi, Josh.
Although some of the topics we would have to intro instead of her because we kind of lead into these things. So,
Well, you do you.
Well,
so
Josh said he didn't know we had a Patreon. Well, now you do.
who didn't?
Josh.
Josh,
Oh.
My boy
I
from
could have swore
Arkansas.
we
Oh, hey.
say it every episode.
we
but
do. So he's clearly not
I think
a fan.
my dad's watching now.
I think
Hi,
he's
Dad.
checking out on Facebook. That's why we don't say it very
Hi,
much.
Chris.
Because you lead when we're on Facebook, and all you do is like
1, 2, 3, 4.
YouTube, blah 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 blah. Yeah.
It's because it's.
Oh yeah, Josh, you're right. You can apparently use iTunes on Samsungs and stuff, but it's like I think it's called the Apple iPod.
I
iTunes,
just said that.
yeah.
It's like the podcast app or
Yeah.
something.
Mind you, that took 5 minutes to chug through plugs. That's why I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. Let's get on with the show.
And then people don't know about them. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Anyways, so Mark, obviously, with the work that he's been doing outdoors a lot lately, productions, slow
Pruning
right
apple
now,
trees.
so you get to prune apple trees
Yeah.
and be outdoors. He's made a lot of new friends on the farm.
Uh-oh.
And he gets to spend a
not
ton
new
of time
friends,
with
I've known them.
Casey. Well, I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of the Mexican guys you haven't worked around
I know
all that
them.
much. But you get to spend a lot more time with Casey. So they've come up with a lot of random conversations. And
Most of
posed
it about
a-
Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Shout out. Watch Letterkenny. It's
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh.
Stop it.
Anyways,
Figure it out.
you guys came up with a pretty good question going back and forth
Yeah.
the other day.
Yeah, I did. So I asked Casey. We were
Is that your
discussing.
laundry in the background?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't hear it on the mics.
Okay.
And it's pretty loud. So we were discussing musical artists and groups and stuff, and I asked him, I was like, so if you could trade some hit musical artists now for deceased musical artists to bring them back,
No.
who would you choose and why? And I said that I would get rid of the Jonas Brothers.
Fuck you.
Hey. I'd get rid of the Jonas Brothers for Freddie Mercury, Frank
There's
Sinatra,
no audio.
and no audio on
On
what?
Facebook. That's
What?
what Sam said.
Wait a minute, what?
No, there's definitely
Yeah.
audio. Sam, I think your phone's broken, buddy.
Turn up your volume.
Turn it
But anyways,
up.
I said I'd trade the Jonas Brothers for who did I say? Freddie Mercury,
Uh-huh.
Frank Sinatra,
Uh-huh.
and Jimi Hendrix.
Uh-huh.
What
'Cause-
about
Because I already said I would bring back Johnny Cash by trading away Cardi B.
what's his face?
Fuck that bitch.
What is
If you can't remember, it might not be that.
Chester Bennington?
I'd bring back Chester, but I mean, I'd bring back Chester after I brought back like Freddie and Sinatra and
So I can't
Johnny
argue with
Cash.
that. I love the Jonas Brothers, but I would.
yeah, they're
kill
not
to
as good
see-
as.
I would
as-
kill to see Queen live.
There you go.
So that's
I mean, you can still see Queen live, but I think they're
Without Adam Lambert.
with
yeah,
Adam
fuck
Lambert,
Adam
without Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd
I'd
want,
like to
we'd
see him
wanna
live
see
without
Queen,
Adam
not
Lambert.
with Adam Lambert, like we'd want to see him with
Oh,
Freddie.
okay.
Yeah, no thanks.
But no, we thought that you might be a little salty that I said
Yeah.
I'd kill the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, he
for-
said it in the car, and I
I-
was like, "Don't tell Tasha that." Instead, you know what? Never mind. Do tell Tasha.
I'm very salty about it, but I can't. It's not like you're like, oh, I'd bring back
We're not losing anything big.
like. Yes, we
No,
are.
we aren't.
The Jonas Brothers were my childhood. My
That's
got me
great.
through middle school.
Oh my gosh,
Cool.
I played a throwback playlist in the office the other day, and the Jonas Brothers kept
Oops,
coming
sorry.
up, and Jessica was like, "I don't know this song." I'm like, "It's the
Oh my
year
God.
3000. What are you talking about? You don't know."
So wait,
this
they have
song.
a song
Oh my
called
God.
Year 3000 and a song called Year 2019.
They just
That's a
year
joke.
2019 is a parody of year 3000.
Okay.
Oh.
That was like a joke for their
about
appearance
to
on
be
James
like,
Corden's
come on.
show.
But yeah, my entire, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but me and Amanda shared a room growing up at my mom's house, and my half of the room was full of Jonas Brothers posters. Even the ceiling had Jonas Brothers posters on it because I had so many.
The Jonas Brothers are back and they've had sex.
I'm so happy.
What?
So they've had sex.
They've had sex.
My dad said, "Who are the Jonas Brothers?" You know who they are, Dad. Don't
It's-
even pretend.
It's three brothers. Well, actually, there's four of them, and the one's just forgotten because he's not
Frankie.
musically talented at all.
well, and
apparently.
he was like 5 years old when they started the band,
so.
so he's not
He
going to
was
be.
late to the
Hanson had
party.
like a fucking 8-year-old. I mean,
Didn't Jackson 5 have?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
So get wrecked.
Get back, Jonas Brothers.
But do you guys
Bye.
have an
No, I
idea of who
love
you'd
Jonas
get rid
Brothers.
of
Yeah.
now to bring in, who you'd want to bring back? I mean, obviously, Mark already mentioned some of like the big names that we would want to bring back.
Who I'd get rid of now to bring someone
Yeah.
back?
So it had to be somebody popular now. Like you can't say Katy Perry because she's already past her
I
prime
like
at this
Katy
point.
Perry. Who?
Wow.
Post Malone. I would get rid of Post Malone in a heartbeat.
No, I like Post
For
Oh my
who?
Malone.
gosh.
Post Malone.
For,
For
I
anyone.
like Post Malone. Leave me
I
alone.
Get rid of him.
hate Post Malone.
Get
He's
rid of him.
terrible.
Can I
Bye.
say R. Kelly? Because he's like popular now again.
He's not popular.
He is not
He's-
popular.
He's popular in the
current
news right now.
But he's popular now.
He's popular with 14-year-old girls. I mean,
Too soon.
Amy Winehouse.
you bring her back for Post Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know
Post
they're
Malone
not
probably
on the
needs to go to
same
rehab
level,
too.
but-
So
I mean, Amy Winehouse had her problems, but she was a good musician. Post Malone is just. I know everything and do a man now. It's just terrible. It's just awful. It makes me like.
That song's gonna be stuck in my head the rest of the episode now.
You could play "Sucker" by the Jonas Brothers.
No. I'm trying to. I mean, I don't know a lot of like pop music people
Josh
right now.
Josh told your dad this is one case where ignorance is in fact bliss.
My dad
yeah.
knows who
The
the
Jonas
Jonas Brothers
Brothers
are.
are.
He just wants to get
He
under
wishes
my
he didn't.
skin.
I just think that I would want to bring back Jeff Hammond from Slayer, but I don't know who I get rid of because I don't really give
Who?
Jeff Hammond from
Oh,
Slayer, guitar player.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know who I'd want to get rid of because
Yeah, who would you want to get rid of for him?
I don't know because I don't know anyone. That's
Nicki
like
Minaj.
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, there's all those, just like a lot of the rappers lately. What is that guy?
Yeah, what's that? The
XX.
That's
something.
Oh,
exactly what I was
Tennessee
thinking.
or whatever. Tennessee.
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 Wow.
Jack
Yeah,
said
something
Amy's
like that.
my girl, and he hates the Jonas Brothers.
That's who I would have gotten.
I know
I agree
you
with
would.
you, buddy.
And I would actually bring back Rev, so that way,
Avenged Sevenfold.
Avenged Sevenfold was back to their original group.
Yeah, they're saying they'd trade Post Malone and bring Mac Miller back, which I agree. Mac Miller's
Yeah,
way better than
that's
Post
fair.
Malone.
No, fuck Mac Miller,
Yeah.
man.
That's fine.
He's better than
Whatever.
Post Malone.
Nah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're gonna bring someone dead back,
We gotta
should
bring.
probably be
I want
better than
Biggie
Mac Miller.
back. I mean,
Biggie
or
and
Chris Cornell.
bringing in Tupac.
No, I don't care about you.
Oh, my dad said Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell was a good
Did you
choice.
see? Did you guys? He literally said
Oh,
that.
yeah, no,
The
just
same
pop-
time.
Here's one.
He
Here's one.
typed that the same time. At the same time that you said it.
Let's
That's
get rid of Bono.
There's a delay.
Get
It's
rid
like
of
a-
Bono
like a 30-second delay.
and bring back Dimebag Darrell.
Done.
Done.
Who?
Deal.
Bono's the lead singer of U2. He's
Yeah.
an absolute douchebag. Dimebag Darrell's the lead guitarist for Pantera.
Yeah. Who got shot
One of the
on
best
stage?
guitarists in the fucking
Okay, calm
history
down.
of
Calm down. Calm
metal.
down. Calm down.
Eat shit.
Have you not heard John 5?
Carl,
Which
who would
band?
you get rid of?
John 5. Just,
Oh, I
just
don't know.
Huh?
Who would you get rid
Oh,
of?
he was like
I
the
just
fastest
said
guitar
mine.
player in the world for a while. It was amazing. It was really good.
Who was yours?
Who did I say I would get rid of? Out of I don't even know who I said I'd get rid of.
I
It
don't
was like
remember.
kind of hard to pick because I.
She
kinda
didn't
like
say.
Oh, the rapper that you were trying to figure out the name for. I don't know what his name is.
Oh.
The one with, like, all the,
XXX?
he's got like all the tattoos and shit on
Extension?
his face. Is
Oh,
all I know
Takashi.
of.
Takashi 69.
That's it. Yes.
Takashi.
That's the
Oh,
one.
is
He
that
touches
that
little
te- it
girls
looks
and
like
he ratted everybody
Tech
out.
9 or
Yeah, he's got like
No,
all those
Takashi
like.
69.
Oh,
Not Tech
6ix9ine. Isn't he in jail now?
9. Yeah, he's.
He had Skittle grills, right? His
Yeah.
gri-
Yeah.
his,
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
grills are
I'd
like
get rid
Skittles?
of him and I bring back Rev to.
Who's Rev?
He's
Jimmy Rev Sullivan, drummer for Avenged
Yeah.
Sevenfold.
original
Oh,
drummer. Yeah.
Okay.
Sam, calm down. I like Coldplay, all
Oh,
right?
I like Coldplay.
He'd get rid of Coldplay.
I'm down.
He's
Give
like,
it a. I
bring
would
back
take.
Hendrix.
I would take Hendrix over Coldplay. any
Coldplay
day.
is they're just chill. Like they're
They're
not-
fun.
Yeah. So their newer
Nah.
music, I don't know how
Oh,
I
you can
feel
get rid
about
of
it
fun.
that much.
Huh?
I said you can get rid of fun.
For Hendrix, who... Now, this is just a rumor. This has never been confirmed. But they said that Hendrix used to took a razor blade before his shows and cut small cuts in his forehead and then drip LSD onto his bandana and
That's
put
cool.
it on his head so his LSD was getting absorbed straight into his bloodstream while
That's
he was
fine.
playing. There was one I forget what documentary it was, but they just had Hendrix describing while he was playing one time that his guitar was turning into a snake and he was trying to play the guitar, but it was like a snake slithering all over him, so he was like freaking out. I don't know. I think all good music now
Thank you, Steve.
is
You know, a lot of these people, if you bring them back, they're going to continue their bad
My-
habits.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
having
just
them pass
die
away
again.
My
so you just
dad-
need to bring them
yeah.
back for like a good interview and be like, hey, tell us the truth
My
about
dad-
these series.
Your dad's fucking hilarious.
Get rid of Nickelback and Imagine Dragons. Not for anyone. Just get rid of them.
okay.
See, I
agree.
understand the hate for Imagine Dragons, but I do respect a lot of the stuff.
like
they-
it.
I like
I
old Nickelback.
I do like some of the stuff.
Silver
they have.
Side Down.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nickelback really isn't that bad. I think they're just fun to hate.
Nickelback isn't really popular anymore though, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Gang mentality. That's what that is.
What up, Dudney?
I just think that all like today's music has been really, really
Garbage. Yeah.
No, because there's a lot of good music now, but it's been really pushed to the wayside for all like the "Cash Me Outside" bitch who was nominated for a
Ew.
Grammy.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Yeah, she was.
ridiculous.
She was nominated for a Grammy.
Why?
She's not good.
I understand, but I'm saying my point
Yeah,
being
get
with
rid of Bad
Hendrix-
Baby. Get rid of Bad
Yeah,
Baby
please.
for no reason.
I don't know what her
other than
name
get
is.
It's
rid of
Bad Bobby.
It's Bad Baby.
Bad Bobby.
I'm just saying
Get
that
rid of her. Bring back Judy Garland.
All
I know
good-
she's not a singer.
all
but
good
she
music.
sings in.
like
You
in
mean
this
Janis
world,
Joplin.
Oh, there we go.
all the good music in this world was written with the influence of drugs.
Oh yeah, most of it.
Like all good music.
Good
and if
majority
you
of it.
think that any music that from basically 90s like previous was written without drugs, like get all of your collections of fucking the Beatles
and
Van
we're
Halen.
gonna
Beatles
include
did it all
alcohol in
without
this
drugs.
too. We're gonna
my ass.
we're gonna include alcohol in this too because I mean I don't know if Frank Sinatra and like the Rat Pack did all that much drugs, but they drank a whole fucking lot.
Well,
So
I
you're
don't-
saying that in order to get our music to be better, we need to start getting people
Drugs.
to do more
Just
drugs
lots
and
of drugs.
alcohol. Okay.
Lots of drugs.
Less heroin, though. I mean, we don't need
We
more
don't need
Chris
any-
Cornell situations.
And we don't need cocaine because we don't need any more James Hetfields. Yeah.
We need more like
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
more like psychedelic drugs and less like
More LSD, more MDMA.
I mean, where are we gonna get another?
Mushrooms.
I am the egg, or I am the walrus.
oh god.
You know, where are we gonna get?
Kajou. That was, I mean,
Or let's all, go. We all live in a yellow submarine.
look. Let me put it this way: if you're gonna actually write music, even on drugs or not, be creative first.
Oh, Guar,
because
rest
some
in
of the-
peace.
Yeah, some of the Beatles music was actual absolute trash. So
I don't like the Beatles. I respect them for like everything that they've done, but I don't like the Beatles. It's like Bob Dylan.
Are you gonna watch that movie about the Beatles?
No.
The one where that guy, like, everybody
one?
loses their memory. Nobody remembers who the Beatles are.
Oh,
at
that
all,
one looks
But he's
interesting.
like the only one that remembers all of these songs.
What?
So he starts playing the songs, and everybody thinks that he's writing all these amazing hits.
What?
And
you haven't seen
What
that?
movie is
No,
this?
yeah. What movie is this?
I don't
I don't remember what it's
What? I
called.
thought you were
It
talking about Across the Universe.
no,
No,
it's a
no.
new movie coming out. A guy like somehow gets into like an alternate universe where the Beatles never existed.
What?
Yeah,
It's
That's
called
weird.
Yesterday.
yeah.
That's so weird.
When's it come out?
June.
In June? Is it going theaters or is it like a Netflix
I think
thing
it's
or
going
what?
to theaters. I'm not positive. I can look up all that stuff. But yeah, it's called Yesterday. So basically, they just wake up one day and he's like playing around, playing one of their songs on piano or guitar or something. And somebody's like, "That's really good. Did you write that?" And he's like, "No, it's the Beatles." And they're like, "Who's the
No,
Beatles?"
he goes, "No,
Nobody
George Harrison
remembers
wrote
who
this."
the Beatles are.
What?
Oh my. Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
It sounds
I
pretty
like the
amazing.
movies that they're making, like Bohemian Rhapsody and then
I'm-
Rocket Man. I'm excited for that.
I think that it's going to be fine, but I hope they only do it in a
I
small
hope they
little
don't overdo
burst
it.
because
Yeah.
they start doing
If
everything.
they start doing it for
oh.
everybody, it's going to be annoying. Like if they
Oh
do
my
it
God.
again for the Beatles, I'm going to be like, no.
Well, I think the Jonas Brothers are doing a documentary. Or
they
something.
can stop with
There's
their
a
head.
difference between
No.
documentaries and there's a difference between biopics. And documentaries have been around for a long
Yeah.
time. People are going to watch documentaries about musicians or bands because they want to watch it. No problem, But they're not hitting theaters all the time. Now they're doing all these biopics like Bohemian and then, Rocket Man and God knows who else is coming out. I hope they don't. I hope they don't overdo that. I really don't.
Yeah,
Because
I
that
don't
would
know.
really ruin
Oh,
it.
Peachy said all new musicians for Chester. I'm down.
I saw
Not
that.
not all the new ones, but I mean, like I'd give up like Shawn Mendes for Chester any day.
No, I love
I was gonna
Shawn
say another one
Mendes.
that I know she's gonna love.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you? He's got such a nice voice.
John Legend.
Okay, if you had
Fucking
to
Whoa,
any-
whoa,
I don't
whoa,
care.
John
Dude,
Legend is not even relevant anymore.
But he's better than Shawn Mendes.
What if
He's
you had
got
to
a great
trade-
voice. I love John Legend, but he's not.
Fucking
Really
name
that
a
relevant.
musician I would probably throw him in a fucking pit of fire for Chester.
Yeah, but what are
Bennington.
you? What if you
Taylor
had to try and
Swift.
trade somebody that was of equal fame?
Probably.
Equal fame as far as
I love them
trading.
both.
Like, yeah, if you had
okay,
in order to bring
equal
somebody
stature,
back
basically?
as famous as Freddie Mercury, you'd have to get rid of somebody that's just as prominent.
So it would have
in
to be like
today's
Brendan
music.
Urie. Oh, I wouldn't make that trade. I'm sorry. I love Freddie,
I
but
mean,
I love Brendan.
No, not just because he can.
What about
like,
Chester,
sing like him,
Brendan?
Nope. I'm sorry. I mean, I do love Chester too, but I love Brendan. Brendan is an absolute fucking angel.
Yeah, well, you know my thoughts on that. So I don't know. I couldn't.
I feel
make
like we
that.
talk about him so much on this podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Mark's in love with him. That's why.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't relate to any of like the, because
Yeah,
people that are really famous in my eyes don't get any airplay.
that's true.
You know what I mean?
It would be easy to make that trade then. So,
Yeah.
so
I mean, it doesn't have to
give
be
me like a huge
exactly like
artist right
where you're
now.
associating Brendan Urie with Freddie Mercury. It could be like you get rid
Oh,
of
how about
Demi
this?
Lovato for
How-
Freddie Mercury.
How about
or
this?
something like
I'd
that.
I'd get rid of Bruno Mars for Freddie.
There you go.
No.
Whoa.
But I mean, like that's an even.
I'd do it. That's an
trade,
even
not
trade. I'd
saying
do it.
like I agree. But
So okay, so if you're getting rid of them, like, does their music still exist?
It's all gone. Their music and everything
Are
they've
there
ever
just-
written gone.
What?
gone.
Well, Brendan Urie can go because he's trash. There's nothing.
Fuck you.
There's
You
nothing
shit.
good about that.
You're wrong.
I'd keep Bruno Mars for. And
I'd get rid of Bruno for Freddie.
Mm.
And I mean, I do like Bruno's music, but
Bruno right now is probably the 2000s era of Michael Jackson.
probably.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I mean, I wouldn't give anybody to bring back Michael Jackson. I think he had his time. He's done.
There's a lot of
He diddled plenty
controversy
of
with
kids.
that documentary that's out right now. Did you see that?
Nope, didn't
Oh, yeah.
watch it.
We didn't watch it either, but
I didn't watch it, but I've seen. I've been keeping up on the
controversy.
controversy. So
I don't know. That I don't even want to go in because I feel like the parents should have pushed. I don't know.
Two of the dads killed themselves, so like that's enough evidence for me.
It's
Oh my
these kids
God.
that are now accusing Michael Jackson on a new documentary that's on, is it HBO?
HBO.
Of molestation after they've testified for him during the trials when he was alive. Where are
Only
the
one of them
parents?
testified
Wait, but
for him, I
wait a
think.
minute. So there's a documentary out of the kids talking about things that Michael Jackson did to them, despite testifying in his
Yes.
favor. In
Yes.
the
No,
past.
only one of them
I'm-
testified.
How
as
is
far as I
that not
know.
illegal to make? Because you're not supposed to be able to like
They're being
slander
sued
somebody
for it.
like
HBO's
that.
being sued for it. Right
Okay,
now
I was
by
gonna
the
say
Jackson
that's like
family.
completely illegal.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy.
Well,
with that.
HBO's suing them for breach of contract, which makes it sound like they had an NDA after the trial or something.
But do you
because-
guys think it would be okay to have your son, daughter to go hang out with a musician
No.
that's
No.
twice your age or
No.
3 times their age? You know what I mean? Because we had 10-year-old, 13-year-old
and-
boys
Okay,
hanging
Hang on,
out
and
with.
it was documented that he slept in the same bed as
Oh,
these
I know.
kids.
That's so creepy. That's like the fucking abducted in plain sight thing. Like this old guy is like sleeping with this little girl, and the parents are just completely okay with it because
Yeah,
he's a
it's
family
fucked up.
friend. Like what the hell?
Like I understand
How
that.
oblivious
I
can you
understand
be?
the idea that he was still like a child mentally because he kind of was because he never had a childhood. I get that, but at the same time, as a
It's not an
parent,
excuse, though, Mark.
as a
Yeah.
parent,
we're
no, it's
we don't-
not.
The reason it happened doesn't matter, but the fact
Right.
that the parenting aspects.
Yeah,
to
as
it.
a parent, how could you, like? And I know a lot of the parents were actually getting paid. They were getting money and like gifts and stuff.
then you know something bad
and
is
that's
about to happen.
yes, and that's why two of the fathers of some of the victims killed themselves because they just felt guilty because
Although-
they basically got paid to let their kids get touched by Michael Jackson.
A good like that's a good question though for
Sounds
parent
so
like
terrible.
people that are in our lives right now that were parents during that era, like when those things were happening. Like if Michael Jackson approached you and you were a huge fan of his, would you allow him to spend time
No.
with your children? You say that now, but during that time it might have been different for some people in their head that like they got the opportunity to meet this famous person and they wanted to meet their child, so they didn't look at it as bad.
Let me put it this way: we have say 5 years in the future, we have a 5-year-old. Brendan Urie wants to hang out with our 5-year-old. Sorry, I think Brendan Urie is an absolute fucking treasure, and I think he's an angel. He's not hanging out with my fucking kid alone.
Yeah.
What kind of person like wants to hang out with someone that's half their
Someone
age?
who's gonna fucking touch kids.
Unless it's their niece or nephew or little sister or something, like little brother, whatever. It's just creepy unless it's family.
So
I mean, even
especially
sometimes
if
it's
they're
creepy when
famous.
it's family. But
Especially if they're
But
famous.
here's the thing, though, because there's situations that might not be so weird because of the standing. Like, there's a whole thing about Drake hanging out with Millie Bobby Brown, and yeah, she's so much younger than him.
yeah,
But
She's 13,
But she's famous
she's Adriana's
actress
age.
now too.
13, 14.
Okay, she can be famous and have friends that are her age.
Yeah, but she's still socializing with other celebrities. That's part of the friendship.
But isn't
there.
he texting her privately?
I don't know all the details
Yes.
of the thing. I'm just saying
she was talking about it.
Yeah, she talked about it on, I think it was the red carpet. She was texting him, and she goes, "Oh, he texted me one morning and was like, 'Oh, I miss you so much.'" And
Okay, that's weird.
That's creepy.
he's 35 years
the
old.
fact that they're texting anyway is creepy. Unless
that's weird.
she's,
And she's
like,
14.
Hey, like I'll be at your show tonight. Like that's that's the furthest. Or like, hey, watching Stranger Things. Like you're a great actress. Or
Just throwing this out
something
there.
like about your career. But when it's, I don't know. It's just uncomfortable.
Just throwing this out there. Famous people think they're untouchable.
yeah.
That's why R. Kelly's going down, finally.
Yeah.
But why it took so long for him to actually go down, even though he married a fucking 15-year-old. How he didn't get arraigned back then, I don't know. But
No, not Maisie and Drake. It's Millie
Millie Bobby,
Millie
Brown.
Bobby
Brown, the girl who plays 11 from Stranger Things.
Well, and the other thing about Drake was that he was dating an 18-year-old actress
Oh, Peachy
or an
made-
18-year-old model.
Peachy made a hell of a point. He said you don't think that that underage celebrities get molested too, and I'm sure they do.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no,
We already-
that wasn't.
we
Yeah,
already
that's
had all
not
this
the
Harvey
argument.
Weinstein stuff going around. Like it happens. The industry is full of just predators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying just adult celebrities are doing this, or to outsiders. No, that's not the point. The point is that a 13-year-old or 12-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever, is sleeping in the same bed as a celebrity, and now we're hearing reports from this Drake story that a 31-year-old is now texting "I miss you" to a 14-year-old.
Yeah, and
and,
then
and talking
I
about
mean, there's-
private, boy advice and stuff.
Right.
Whatever
There's-
that
there-
article
When
there
they
is-
ask-
there's for two people that are famous, there is potential for there to be like proper friendships where it's a professional friendship more
Yeah.
so, which would be understandable. But texting
Like-
that he
Well,
misses
Like,
her,
for example,
is
Ludacris and Justin Bieber. They had a professional friendship because
Right.
Ludacris was helping Justin Bieber
But
produce.
then
Yeah,
Usher,
so-
Usher,
Ludacris.
Yeah.
but Usher helped Bieber
Probably,
too, right?
But
Yeah.
Well,
Ludacris
that's-
was the one doing the producing, I think.
That's
Yeah,
the
because
thing.
Usher
Like,
found him on YouTube. Sorry, babe.
that's the thing. It's not like Drake and Millie Bobby Brown aren't working together on anything.
Right.
Like, you know, like David
Yeah.
Schwimmer and like Dylan, or Cole Sprouse, whichever one was Ben.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if they had a relationship, it wouldn't be weird because they
Right.
work together.
Right.
But the fact is like Drake and Millie Bobby
They're not
Brown
even in the
have,
same industry.
yeah, they have no connection to each other. They just, probably have seen each other on the red
and she's
carpet
probably
or
just a
likes
huge fan of
music.
his
Yeah.
because she's like a huge fan of
Poor girl with her
hip-hop
fucking
and
terrible
rap.
taste in music. But brings me to the argument I've made about the whole Michael Jackson thing when people have been saying like how like if Macaulay Culkin is coming forward and saying that he never touched him and Corey Feldman's coming forward and saying that he never touched him, the way I see it, you have two famous kids, even back then were child stars. That's your alibi. If you don't touch them and you know they're going to vouch for you, that's your alibi. They're going to cover for your ass because they had no bad experiences with you. That doesn't mean none of the other kids are, you know.
Your mom just chimed in and said that children shouldn't be sleeping in adults' beds,
No.
which
Unless it's their parents.
Yeah.
That's basically it. And even then, you need to knock it off by the time they're fucking like 5.
I feel like it just creates a bad habit. And I'm not a parent.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm not a
It
parent.
does.
So I don't know, but that's just how I would feel about it. I don't know. It-
Yeah, because then you always want like a companion when you're sleeping, and
Yeah.
when you
And
get
become
older,
very dependent.
and if you live by yourself, you don't always
Here's
have
what you
someone to
do.
sleep with.
Get that kid a big ass body pillow. You're welcome. I can't sleep without mine. Can I? I know it drives you crazy.
Yeah, we need a bigger bed. We
That
need a
drives
king
me
size
fucking
bed.
nuts.
I cannot sleep without my body pillow. I love my body pillow.
So you said
I have
like
2 of
they
them.
should be out of your bed by 5. Are you like you're on board with the co-sleeping stuff for kids?
No, I'm completely against the co-sleeping. I'm just saying, like, I could understand if, like, your daughter gets scared because she has a nightmare and wants to sleep with
Yeah.
you. That'll piss me off, I'm sure, but I'm not gonna fight it.
No, circumstances like that. It's just not every night.
Yeah, but I'm not imagining a fucking 12-year-old coming in like that. I had a night. Go to fucking bed, kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I mean, I've gone and stayed the night at Jessica's and stuff before, and I've slept in Jackson's bed, but Jackson wasn't there. Like I wouldn't sleep in Jackson's bed
Right.
with him. I'd like sleep in the living room or something.
Steve
on the floor.
chimed in and said, "Getting kicked in the face by tiny feet sucks."
Yeah, yeah. My mom said that I liked her waterbed. That's true. Her waterbed
Well,
was
who
extremely
doesn't like
comfortable.
water beds?
Yeah.
I love water beds.
I feel like a lot of kids have
Don't you
issues.
think
Like
about
some
it. They're so
some
fun.
kids when they sleep in water beds, they like pee themselves more.
Oh,
What?
Yeah,
I
that was
slept
like a thing when we were
baby.
younger. Maybe it was just like a sibling or something.
Okay, I have to chug into this because I know that we were pre-planning parenting talk a little bit. I'm not a planet. I'm not a planet
You're
either.
not a
Can I play it?
I'm not
Sorry,
a
it's
parent.
Pluto.
I'm not a planet.
You sound
I-
like a planet, Vox.
I know. Yeah, it could be a good.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, well, I'm gonna wait now
Are you
because
suggesting
this
he
is
has
a
an
good.
ego?
This is a good. Oh,
Ooh.
Okay, let's talk shit about
Puns.
Cara now.
Yeah. That fucking
or big
asshole.
feet.
Yeah.
Um,
The
Goddamn
heck's
time
showing
she decided
off
to go
her
to the bathroom. She's been
engagement
farting
ring.
for 20 minutes. Like, damn.
what?
Stinking up the place.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. I was like, wait, what?
I said let's talk shit about Cara.
See, now we can't stop the recording because we're.
No, we're fine.
I mean, we can still talk.
So anyways,
She's not.
what is
she's
going
just
on?
peeing.
I'm sure Cara, can you hear us? All right, go ahead and talk. Fox, you're good.
We've been kind of pre-planning the parent talk, and I think I would be scared shitless for multiple reasons to be a later parent. Like when kids start getting into like the 7 to 14 area.
Yeah.
Is there
You
no
know,
towel in
because
There is. I just hurried
okay.
up.
oh, okay. You started saying like wetting the bed.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I'm like, shit. My kid's gonna wet the bed at some point, you know.
I
So
would
now
be
I gotta deal with that.
I'd be so uncomfortable if I was sleeping with my kid though when they wet the bed.
Oh yeah, I know what I
Yeah.
mean.
That's
I
why. Yeah. I'm just.
I
sleep
just
in your
blame
own
I
bed.
just blame it on mom.
Neither of you guys have wet the bed on each other before. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
never.
I almost shit the bed, but
He was afraid I was gonna shit the bed.
yeah,
but-
that too. But no, I think that's just one of the crazy like things that people don't think about as as like becoming a parent until it happens. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, okay, so there's lots of different. I know there's a lot of topics that people suggested for us today, and we can get through those. But a specific thing that I saw that I had a conversation with my mom just recently, I was at pool and there was a lady there that brought her daughter who's early 20s ish, and she's pregnant. Very pregnant. You can see she's pregnant.
Okay.
And while we're sitting there, we've been there for a while, I hear her say to her mom, like, can you hand me my cigarettes? And she starts smoking in the bar at like 6-7 months pregnant. And I was like texting Mark, I'm like, I am so uncomfortable right now. Like, I'm super, super uncomfortable with this. And I talked to my mom about it later. I was like, nobody else seemed to like react, you know, like, and everybody else knows them. I don't know them. So I'm like, that just seems ridiculous. I would never support like her mom did give her cigarettes. I'm like, I would never support something like that. And mom's like, you just don't know until you've had an adult child what you're going to do. And I'm like, I would like to think that I would stick to my guns and be like, I'm not going to support you doing something that's stupid.
Yeah.
And at the very least, if they're going to do it, I'm not going to be the one handing them their cigarettes when they ask for them, you know?
That's more of a love thing. You know, you have love for not only your child, but your grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, we had that whole exact conversation in the car about it. And I mean, my sister struggled with quitting smoking when she was pregnant. She did end up doing it, but it was really, really hard for her. And I told my mom, I'm like, I said something. If I saw it, I said something, and I wouldn't take that back. I wouldn't take back saying those things. I'm like, I understand you might be struggling with it, but I don't agree with what you're doing. And I would say something every time, and I'd like to think that I would do the same thing in the future, even if it was my child that I'm trying to take care of.
I just don't like people that are making excuses to continue doing that. Like, oh, I can't just quit cold turkey. I have to have some. You know, it's like, I get addictions like a pretty gnarly thing. You know, and I'm not I wouldn't
There
ever
are
say that.
sacrifices you have to make.
I'm
If
not-
you're
yeah.
deciding you're going to be a parent.
I would never say that I've been so addicted to something besides maybe like Dota that I'm like, I can't live without it. But there's Tasha and I can go a couple days, couple weeks, couple months as you have done without drinking. You know,
Yeah.
and we enjoy drinking. You know,
Yeah.
I know you guys enjoy drinking, but Kara, Tosh, when you guys get pregnant, you're not gonna drink while you're
No.
pregnant. You know, and neither of you guys smoke, but the same situation. Like, I have a feeling that it's like a parenting instinct that kicks in.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
you're-
it's
Yeah.
different.
That should
It's
be.
different for other people. Like for Jessica, I know that when she was pregnant, she was done. She cold turkey, no smoking, because
That's
that was
fine.
the most important thing to her. And it's not to say that if you do smoke when you're pregnant, that your baby isn't as important to you, because
Right,
sometimes
right.
that's not the case. It's addiction affects people differently. But I mean, it was still just really hard to see. And then for my mom she wasn't really like telling me I was wrong. She was just saying like, you don't understand because you don't have any kids. You don't
Right.
understand
Yeah.
what it's like to watch, because she actually had to do it watching Sarah struggle with quitting smoking when she was pregnant. So she has like more of that first point perspective. But I'm like, even still, I can never see myself like not saying something and like assisting, you know, handing you your pack of cigarettes. I'd be like, no, if you're gonna be that stupid, go get your cigarettes your fucking self.
The opposite could be true too, though. Like, they could be addicted enough to something to where like withdrawals can hurt the baby. Too.
Yeah, I was actually going
True.
to say that. I know someone that she doesn't smoke as much as she used to. She probably has like I think she said on her way in to work and then on her way home from work. But she was like, I don't smoke as much as I used to, but I feel like it'll put more stress on me and the baby quitting smoking than it does having those few cigarettes.
I cannot imagine.
I don't- I
being
mean-
so dependent on a substance.
Yeah. And
Like,
that's
that's
I
ridiculous.
don't, yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've
And
never
I'm
felt
sorry.
like I need
Yeah,
something.
and I'm sorry. I know there's people out there that struggle with addiction, and I know it's
and
it's
it
a
is
mental,
difficult
it's a
once they
mental
get to that
illness.
point. Yeah.
So, and then another thing that's kind of, I know we had a couple of questions about people saying like the equality stuff to do with raising children. So you do smoke. Natasha doesn't. But if Natasha were pregnant, obviously she can't smoke.
Right.
And if she did smoke and she was struggling with it, would you be able to give up smoking cold turkey to support her?
But that's
and,
the thing. Like,
do it
I'm not.
together?
I have cigars. Like, I'm not an.
Rox smokes like what, once a day, if that.
Yeah, I have a cigar. Like, but it's not like I'm like burning through a
And,
pack
not,
of
they're not,
cigarettes.
and they're
You know what
not
I mean?
big old fucking
What if she was
outdoorsman
pregnant
cigars
during
either.
Blake
They're
season?
cigarillos.
Oh, but it's the same situation, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm coming home and we're sitting in a room and I'm puffing on a
fucking
cigar and
chain smoking.
just filling up our room,
Right.
or sitting in the car and doing the same thing. And believe me, when she started doing the whole, hey, I'm going to work out, I'm going to stop drinking for a period of time, I stopped drinking with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Actually, up until recently, because the liquor store up the street got a cider that I really wanted, so I started drinking that again. But regardless, we went. How long did we go without drinking?
I mean, you were still drinking when I went that whole month.
That
without
whole month,
drinking.
yeah. But it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks.
About a month ago, it was like 2 weeks. I was just like, okay. I mean, you're gonna work out. You're not gonna drink. No problem. I'm not gonna even do it around you because, first of all, drinking alone is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Number two, I just feel like I'm like, hey, I'm drinking. You know. So the same situation would be. I feel like it should be for people who are smoking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But hey.
Yeah, and I feel like same. I feel like, and obviously this is different, but like when you get pregnant, you can't drink for those 9 months. You know,
Yeah.
maybe you can have a glass of red wine or whatever here and there is what the doctor says.
I don't know what the rule is.
But I feel like husbands sometimes will stop drinking with their wives, like to make it
Would
easier.
you do that for me?
Yeah.
You say that
If you
now.
needed me to, but I feel like you'd be fine. I think you have enough willpower.
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 You don't even drink most of the time when I'm drinking
know.
anyway. You have like half a
Except
beer
when
and
you
then
want
like
to
hand
have
it to me.
tequila.
Yeah, true. So I want to point out what Steve had to say. Steve
Yeah.
said
I saw him commenting. Go ahead.
Steve quit smoking when him and Alexis had their child,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he's counting the days until Nick turns 18 so he can smoke again. Yeah,
Now that
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Steve,
a hefty commitment.
Steve, question for you though: is that such an addiction issue? Because I don't know. I'm just asking, not to jab.
My
But
guess
is it
it's
because
just like a stress relief thing?
is it that, or is it an addiction issue, or is it like a habit? You know, because there's multiple things that I feel like people get into a niche of doing: coming home having a beer, coming home having a cigar, do whatever. You know,
Well, for some people, it's the long drives. That's what really gets you thinking about it. When you got a long drive to work and you've got a long drive home from work, that's usually when you're doing a lot of that smoking, just feeling the time because you're by yourself in the car.
Smoking is awesome.
So Peachy
My
said that
jam.
you got to remember people were smoking while pregnant for a long time, and people are going to look at it like, so and so turned out fine, or I turned out fine,
Right, and
my mom
you
smoked
know
with
what?
me.
Mark said that exact same thing to me, even though Mark is of the same viewpoint as me.
I think
Yeah.
I'd beg to
I'm the
differ,
same way
though.
then.
He
Steve.
did say the same
That you
thing
turned
to
out
me.
fine. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
My mom said I turned out fine.
Yeah,
so,
but the
never-
thing
your mom
is,
smoked when you.
yeah, I guess.
the thing is, look at how many people now around us have so many health issues that some of them are even genetic. You know, you can pass them down to future
Yeah.
generations, caused potentially by smoking while your
Yeah.
parents were pregnant.
Well, so when with me and my sister, like she doesn't have like a lot of health issues or whatever, but she has like a heart murmur, she has asthma, she has like ADD or ADHD, where I don't have anything like that. But my mom thinks that she got pregnant with my sister either before her wedding or, you know, sometime during that time span. But my mom drank a lot on her wedding night with my dad, and they got married in like December. My sister was born in August. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like, you know, and not that my mom's to blame or anything by that, because she didn't know she was pregnant.
Right.
But now, my sister like has health issues, and she thinks that could be, you know, part of it. But and Mom, I'm not blaming you.
And it's not saying like, everything still doesn't say for sure like what's going to cause what into somebody, because everybody's genetics are different. But it's just, why take the risk? You know?
Peachy said people don't look at things like that long term. It's true. They don't. And my mom said she smoked with 2 out of the 3 kids that she had. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
no
we're all
hatred,
pretty
just-
all right, but
Yeah, no hatred. Just like,
Yeah, it's
one of
just
those
a matter
crazy
of opinions.
things.
Yeah.
These are
my mom
these are just
also, as far as I remember, has never been really a heavy smoker. I mean, she's chain smokes when she's really stressed out, but
I
even
think-
then, it's not as much as most people I know.
And I think you guys are right, though. It's more of a quantity thing. Like if you're smoking a pack of cigarettes a day while you're pregnant, obviously that's an issue.
Yeah.
But you know,
Mom, I love you. I didn't mean that offensively.
but it's not. You know, I don't know. Just kind of my opinion.
Oh, and Steve answered your question, by the way. He said it's
I
not
saw that.
addiction. He just genuinely loves tobacco.
And that's why I said I kind of agree. That's
Yeah.
why I smoke cigars, because I like cigars.
Yeah, same.
Well, that's why when I do smoke, it's because I'm drinking and I just like the taste
Yeah,
of them.
same.
Yeah, whatever. What else you got? I know you have a list over there, and I feel
Well,
like
the big one that
pinned on
sparked
this
our
one.
whole like wanting to talk about parent. What?
What happened?
My friend Anthony said my mom ate my dad's ass while she was pregnant with me and my sister, and now I'm addicted.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
I didn't see that comment, but
I
you
don't
gross.
see it either.
This podcast was really good.
Yeah.
And then this guy.
Somehow poop comes into every episode, apparently. But
Eat
no.
that shit like an apple fritter.
So this was initially brought up by a post that has since been taken down, as we've discovered.
Oh, yes.
But it was the mom who shared a long description of what she punished her daughter with and why she did it. Because despite, being a tough love parent, as she said, her daughter has been bullying people in school. She's disobedient. She's disrespectful to adults, swearing at her principal. And so her resolve was to take away everything from her, every little bit of luxury items that she had, and brought her down to 3 outfits, like 2 pairs of shoes and a couple sweaters that she could wear to keep warm. She took away from her phone, no TV. She's not allowed to use the internet without needing it for school. She's not even allowed to use a washer and dryer. She has to wash her clothes by hand herself in order to continue
Hard
wearing
times
her
are how
clothes.
you learn.
Yeah.
So that's a mom using tough love to teach her daughter not to be so entitled or be cruel, or to be a more respectful person.
And all done without abuse, without beating, without she probably doesn't even have to
But
yell.
when we found the post, it was shared by several people who said that this was the wrong kind of punishment for a child, which personally I disagree with. I think that it is. I think it's an effective means. It's probably going to be. But a lot of the people that were sharing it are kids that are in that same age, saying this isn't the way to punish your kids. We just want to be heard. So I kind of wanted to see what everybody thought of that.
So when I was growing up, if I did something wrong or I got a bad grade or, I wasn't a disrespectful girl, I didn't swear at teachers. I didn't, get detention a lot or anything like that. But if I got in trouble, if I disobeyed one of my parents, or if I, like I said, got a bad grade, I would get grounded. I would get, the TV taken away from me, the computer taken away from me. And I don't even think I had a phone at this time, but sometimes I would get my phone taken away. But I think that helped me because I was like, I can't treat people like garbage and then just get away with it and get to,
Right.
live my life like I did nothing wrong.
And that's a big thing right now, because that's what really got my attention with it, is the fact that she did a lot of this punishment because of the disrespectfulness in school and the bullying. It's very, very uncommon, it seems, for parents to acknowledge when their child is a bully.
Exactly.
It's so hard to admit that your kid is an asshole,
Right.
and needs to be punished for treating people poorly.
And once you get to that point where you do come to the conclusion that your kid is bullying people, or that your kid is rude to people in general, how do you break your kid of that? You can't just, and these days especially, you can't just beat your kid's ass. I got my ass beat all the time, but it's not. Even then, it's not even a viable punishment for something like that. It's you have to do something to treat them a life lesson, not just a temporary lesson.
Right, which is why I thought that this was pretty effective. It's you wanna have a sense of entitlement. You wanna treat people differently or poorly because they don't have as much stuff as you. Then you're not gonna have any stuff.
Yeah. I know my dad's not watching, but I'm sure if he was, he'd be having some PTSD on that. I know for a fact that when I got a bad grade, or when I remember one time, and I was sarcastic to a teacher. Mm-hmm. Me being sarcastic, I know that's a shock.
Yeah, shock.
But, I was sarcastic to a teacher, and I thought my dad was going to throw me through the side window, And he kind of looked at it like, okay, this is a little bit my fault because he's really sarcastic. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he was like, you will never, ever embarrass me, your mother, your brother, our name. And his whole thing is loyalty, respect. Mm-hmm. That's how I was raised. Our name sticks out like a sore fucking thumb. So if I murdered someone, there'd not be many people that would, be like, there's a million J-Bobs in the world. This guy's name is fucking Vox, so he's going to be, infamous for this. So his big thing was, you respect people, you respect your elders, you do your shit, and stop fucking around.
Yeah.
If I ever swore at a teacher, if I ever swore at a principal, superintendent, he'd cut my fucking fingers off. Mm-hmm. He'd cut my tongue out of my mouth, because that's not how you treat people. This mother who shared this stuff, I think taking the washer dryer away is a little extreme, to be honest, because I didn't wash my clothes to fucking begin with. I'm an adult and live in my own house, and I hardly use the washer and dryer. You bet your ass I'm not washing my clothes with my hands.
Right.
But taking the phone away.
Thank you for admitting on the podcast that I do laundry more than you.
You do the laundry, he cooks. It's a balance.
Yeah. But
Unlike us.
Where I do the laundry.
I
and
lift the
cook
heavy
and
things. You do
clean.
the laundry, and then you
Oh,
cook.
okay.
It's
He
great.
he
I
lifts the
think
heavy
taking the phone away really good. I think taking the computers, TVs, video games, etc. The only thing my dad never took away from me because of it was kind of like it kept me sane mentally was music.
Yeah.
He never took my music away.
And that's a big thing is to know that line too, where
Yeah,
like
there's a
you're
limit.
gonna cause an issue for
Yeah.
your kid.
I mean, if
by
you're going to
taking too
isolate your
much
child in some way, you at least have to give them some sort of escape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in my opinion, isolating your child isn't the ideal punishment. But I mean, my dad said, if you defend your child's poor behavior, if you defend your child's poor behavior, you'll pay an attorney to do it later in life, which
Right.
I think is
I
a good
agree
way
with
to look
that.
at
That's
it.
a really good way
Yeah.
of putting it.
But no, I mean, when I would get grounded when I was younger, my parents didn't take like every single thing away from me. You know, they still let me have at least, one thing to keep me entertained and keep me sane. It wasn't like, sorry, like, because it is a little extreme with the whole clothes thing. I felt like she didn't really need to do that, like taking away her clothes and only giving her a few outfits.
But
to
I
I
wear.
think that had to do more with the bullying aspect.
I understand the point. The point really is that like you have to care for everything that you have. You have to like appreciate
Okay.
everything you have. And at the same time, you have to understand that you have to appreciate everything everyone else does and has. You can't just like bully someone for like their clothes or their looks or whatever if you don't have that either. And I think that's kind of just the psychological aspect of it. But at the same time, you got to look at it in the long run of the psychological damage this could do to the kid too. If she's completely isolated by herself with no entertainment whatsoever, and she's washing clothes with her hands, it's like she was thrown back into the 1800s.
Yeah.
Cinderella sort of thing right there. It's not gonna be good for her child's development, I think.
My dad's saying I never got in trouble, but I remember being grounded.
I was like
in
that.
middle
I
school,
probably got in trouble the least out of my siblings.
Oh yeah, I
My
probably
My dad
did
took
too.
my phone away so much. Like,
Peachy's 100% right with what he just said. He said every child is different. He said you have to cater the punishment to the child.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids value things more differently than others.
well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I
because some
say.
kids just don't care about their stuff.
Yeah.
They don't. They're like, go ahead, take it, smash it, break it. I don't give a shit.
My dad smashed my Game Boy games
Well, I mean,
in a vice in front of me.
That's
Car
rough.
and her siblings all took punishments differently.
I feel like breaking a child's stuff is a little bit extreme though. No offense to your dad, but like
I don't.
I
think it's
I think
mean,
it shows the wrong
yeah,
thing.
like
because-
taking it away, and saying you can have it back in a week or two is one thing, but like breaking it so it's like you can't use this again, and the only way to get it back is you buying a new one. Like it's just kind of
in my
I
opinion,
had just
that's
caught
just a parent
Mewtwo in
saying,
red
"Look,
version."
I paid for this, and I'm going to waste money because I want to punish you." That's stupid.
That's
Yeah,
how.
that's
That's kind of
not-
how I look at
because
it.
they
not how I
probably
look
bought
at
they
it.
probably bought those Game Boy games for you, and then
That's
they're
not-
like
smashed.
take
but-
it away, and I would take your Xbox and like sell it on the internet to somebody else. I wouldn't smash the shit out of it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I'm like my father. That's how I know this.
Mhm.
And from my point of view, I disagree with you guys. Yeah, like I mentioned, I got Mewtwo and then saved my game, and I don't even remember what happened, but he smashed it in a vice in front of me. Now Bryce, my brother, didn't care about video games, didn't care about shit.
Yeah.
So nothing really happened to him. However, I know what his stance was because he's gonna say, "I just spent $35 on this 6 months ago. That money's already gone. I've remade that money. This is now useless to me."
Mm.
And he smashed the fuck out of it.
I mean, yeah,
I
that
guess.
makes
Because-
a little sense.
Yeah.
That to this day, it was still like traumatizing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And punishments have to change as people age too. Like,
And they
like,
did.
The punishments are going to change from when you're 9 to when you're 15, because like Peachy said, when he was younger, he got his video games taken away. But as he got older, and like when he got into high school, his parents realized that it was more important for him to be able to go out and hang with friends. So he
Yep.
got grounded.
And now like cell phones are just a huge thing.
They're
for
too expensive.
kids.
Yeah.
They're too
Yeah.
expensive. You know, I remember spending $99 on the cell phone. Now I'm spending $8.99 on a cell phone.
I thought $50 was a lot for my little
Yeah.
dash or something. What
But
it's called?
here's another one.
Dash.
And I know Jack's not listening anymore, but my cousin, I remember him getting in trouble with his mother, and he was big into Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Mhm.
His mom threw them out the window on
Ouch.
the Van Dyke Expressway in a
Ouch.
rainstorm.
Oh no!
Yeah, just
That's brutal shit.
out the window.
I collected
Like, let's
Yu-Gi-Oh
go
cards,
on
and
a
I
little
spent
car
my
ride.
money on it too. And
Yeah, I don't even know what happened, but I remember that was like the situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like when I'm an adult, and not that I'm, you know what I mean, and I have a kid who's 14 and understands the concepts of the world, and you don't fuck up and talk back to your elders or embarrass me, and I want to smash something of theirs to teach them a lesson, I'm going to.
Yeah. I mean, this is okay.
Because
So
that
this is kind
stuck
of a
with
good
me.
We'll see about that.
specific incident, especially with Steve and Peachy listening because they've got kids. Actually, your dad too, because they've all got kids in this age range. But somebody that I know has a child who is going to school, and he's just entering school, so he's very little, but he's been mean. They are aware that he's mean. They don't really know what to do about it. But when he went to school, he's getting ready to start like official school instead of like daycare school. He went in there and a kid wanted to play with him or wanted to take something from him, and he looked at him and said, "I don't play with brown boys."
Oh.
How do you punish that? How do you teach like a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-old about that? Like, that's just completely unacceptable. And it seems like there was only a small conversation that happened afterwards, and then they moved on. But then that same parent shared something on Facebook saying, hold on, what does it say? Some of y'all never heard your dad's belt slide out of 6 loops in 2.6 seconds, and it shows.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Okay.
Beating kids is completely different than the punishments nowadays.
To be fair, this kid is not being raised in an environment that is at all racist. He's not being raised by parents who feel that way.
Are you sure?
Yes. What is happening, because it's what happens with other kids that he plays with, that it doesn't have to do with race. He's finding a difference between him and another person. So he's finding something like, I've got blonde hair, you've got brown hair, my skin's white, your skin's brown, I'm tall, you're short. He finds those differences and he tries to use them to be mean and exclude
So that's
people.
a psychological issue.
At that point, punishment itself isn't really, at least at first, you shouldn't be thinking about punishing him. You have to teach him right from wrong first.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It should
I
be
agree
a
with you.
life lesson first.
Yeah, and it seems kind of hard.
Yes,
to
it's
get
difficult.
kids at that age to understand those concepts. So like, how how do you do that?
But the best way to go about it. I mean, and my dad, I got lucky. I did grow up in a small town. There were not very many minorities. There were some, but not very many. But one of my dad's best friends was African American. He was like an uncle to me. So I got really lucky because I grew up being raised around someone who was completely different. And I understood that no matter the differences we have, we're still people. And that was easier for me. I didn't really discriminate for anybody. But like at that age, in a scenario where he doesn't really see very many people of minority or different colors or whatever, really the way I think he should go about it is if he has friends that are minorities, introduce him to his son, let them be around his son, and be good to his son. That way his son learns that these people will treat him nicely no matter what color their skin is, no matter what color their hair is, no matter whether they're tall, they're short, they're fat, they're skinny. None of it matters because we're all people too.
I'm not a person.
You're not a person. But yeah, no, it's just hard. It's hard to know what you do, especially when we don't have kids. And then by the time we do have kids that are going to be that age, things have already changed again. And it's like, how do you punish or educate or anything like that if there's no, I don't know, there's just no set criteria for that.
Yeah.
Your dad made a good point. It's definitely leading by example.
Exactly.
It's like how they say that you drive like your parents do. You learn how to drive at age 10 because you're starting to comprehend the laws of driving. So when you turn age 16 to get your license, you drive exactly how your parents do.
Yeah.
And I did that. I learned because, you don't stop at the stop sign. You stop after the stop sign so you can see past the trees. You can see past the buildings. You can see past the oncoming cars. You know what I mean? And that's illegal. You're supposed to stop at the stop sign. So just an example, I feel like that's how teaching as far as not just racism, but as a indifference is done.
Yeah, because that's the big thing with him with differences is he's going to be in school and he's going to grow up. And it's not just going to be about race. He's going to be going to school with kids that are gay. You can't
if
treat them
he's
a different
old
way
enough
because
to
they're gay.
see these differences and comprehend these differences, he's old enough to be taught that it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
and it just starts at home and teaching him right from wrong as early as you can, as often as you can. Everything can be turned into a life lesson in some way or another.
Yeah, everything can be turned into a life lesson because that's what every day is. It's a new lesson.
Yeah,
of what
every day
happens.
is a chance to learn something new, especially at that age.
It sounds like the intro to Caillou.
Yeah, it's fine.
To what?
Caillou? It's a kid's show that I don't really care
See,
for.
and nobody bullied Caillou for having cancer. It's fine.
He was just a bald kid, Mark.
Mark. I don't
Anyway.
even know
I'm going
this
to
show.
hell. I might
So
as well make
some-
jokes on the way.
Some lighter topics just for opinions on like what, because obviously part of our thing here is like, obviously we're none of us are parents, so we know nothing about actual parenting.
Nope,
Because we
not a
haven't
parent.
done it yet, and things can change once we actually do have kids and dealing with no sleeping and all that kind of stuff. So just as a general, like what you feel like you're going to be like as a parent, how do you feel about kids doing household chores and how much is appropriate?
What age? Let's give me an age group here.
I mean, really, does age matter to you?
Yes.
Because when they're little, aren't you going to teach them to clean up their own toys?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's you can base the chores and the amount of chores on how old they are, because I remember at my dad's house there was 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean there was 5 of us, but Adriana wasn't old enough to do chores. She was 2 years old probably. Anyway, so my dad said I got one kid who likes to tell us how to parent.
I
we
think
all
every
had-
parent has that.
We all had like chores.
Not
that
my
we
parents.
We all had chores we were supposed to do, and we had to get them done before we could play on the computer, play on the PlayStation, go outside or whatever. And I had with on like a Saturday, I would have to do like clean the floors, clean the bathroom, and then like dust or something. Like, it was like 3
And
or
what
4
and
chores.
what did you learn from that?
That you got to get your shit done to be able to have fun.
You have to have priorities, and work comes first. And
Did you have chores as you were growing up?
yeah, I just didn't do a lot of them.
Like what kind of stuff did you have to
Well, I mean, when I was really young, my job was to always make sure my room was clean. Like, and my dad has eagle fucking eyes, or at least back then. I mean, now he wears bifocals, but back then he had the eyes of a goddamn hawk, because if I was playing with Legos in my room,
do? And the standards of
and
a
I cleaned
fucking
them
drill
all-
sergeant, right?
yeah, and I'd clean my room. He'd tell me to clean my room or whatever, and I'd clean my room, put the Legos off to the side, and I had a big old tote. If I left one of those little 1x1 pieces on the floor, it could be tan, and my
I
carpet
know.
was tan. He would see it from a mile away and tell me my room wasn't cleaned. But I mean, I was always the one that found it on accident by stepping on it anyway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But
so were you
I
held
had
accountable for your own?
I was
your
held accountable for my own room.
responsibilities?
Fuck you, Hammer, says your dad.
You're getting old, Dad. Face it.
But yeah, I mean, and then it helps you like as you get older. You have your own spot. Like when I was in my apartment, if I didn't clean, that place didn't get cleaned. And that box would help clean
Yeah.
and stuff. But it was my spot. And it just helped you learn. Like you just got to get your shit done. You got to do your chores. Like because eventually your parents aren't going to be doing everything for you. They're not going to be cooking for you. They're not going to be cleaning for you.
Yeah, I
And-
think that kind of stuff does carry over a lot into our adulthood, because ours wasn't so like, it was individual where like you guys had, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Like those were the kind of chores that we were given.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, if it's all not done, none of you guys get to go do this thing.
See, that didn't
So
work out
it
for
was
me.
always like, we weren't individually held accountable for stuff most of the time. So that's why I'd end up doing all the stuff, because my brother wasn't doing his share, my
Oh my
sister didn't do
gosh.
her share.
And see, look at
And-
how far
and
that's gotten
exactly
you
how
now.
I am as an adult. Like I take care of Alex. I take care of people. It's what I do.
See, yeah, me and my sister, like, I not that I'm selfish, but
And your
I kind
siblings
of
are
am.
lazy too.
like I was like,
I am too.
I'm not doing your chores for you. Like that have like I always shared a room with one of my siblings.
But were
know?
you
So it
were
was
held
like,
accountable for
I
your
clean
own
my
stuff,
side
right?
of the room, and Amanda, you clean your side of the room, or Alex, you clean your side of the room. Because we need to get this done. Like I wanna go rollerblading, because we would have to get all our chores done before we could go outside and go rollerblading. But I don't know. I'm glad that my parents had me do it. I hated it when I was growing up. Like I felt like Cinderella scrubbing the floors in the kitchen.
I said that one time, and now Cararella has been forever a
Oh my
thing in my
God.
house.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny.
I said it once.
It was funny because my stepmom was the one that like set up the chore list, and so I was like, "I'm the evil stepdaughter that you're making wash the floors." But
Told me my dad was listening. Then there's a Tasharella too.
My brothers and I were definitely held accountable for our own chores. We weren't. It was. I don't remember it ever being grouped together. unless like we had all made the same mess. Like if we
Yeah.
trashed the living room, yeah, we'd all be held accountable for that. But we were all individually held accountable for our own spaces, and then each of us had certain chores. Like I learned how to do the laundry when I was like 5 because my mom broke both of her feet, and we had to do all of the chores in the house. And so, I mean, I learned how to do that stuff when I was really young. And if my parents really wanted to punish me, they'd make me do the dishes. And because I fucking hate doing dishes,
Everybody
it grosses
hates
me the
doing
fuck
dishes.
out.
See, that was like the only thing that was like a group effort was cleaning up after dinner. Like it was like one person put away the food and then brought the dishes to the sink. And then they washed the table. One person washed the dishes. One person dried and put away, and then the other person swept.
So
You know, we all had one task. I mean,
Yeah.
it would rotate, but we all
Fox,
had
you haven't said
something to do.
anything.
About what?
Chores.
Well, I had plenty of chores.
Like how did your parents individually make you and your brother do separate chores,
No.
or were you just encompassed in one group to do all
So
the
if it
chores?
didn't get done, you were both in trouble,
Correct.
or you both couldn't do the thing you wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, there was never an instance where it was like, you can't go outside until your chores are done, because all of our chores were outside. My mom is a neat freak.
But you
so
guys
she,
live on like 5,000 acres.
Yeah, you do live on a
4
big yard.
acres.
It was a pretty big yard.
It's a lot.
My mom was a neat freak. She did all the cleaning inside, so we didn't have to do much of that unless it was like summertime and we were home all day. Then we'd like dust it. Or a big one that my dad liked was he has wood through the whole house, so we had to like Murphy's oil soap wipe down every piece of wood in the house. But all of our chores were outside, so it wasn't like anything. Like I said,
Like rake
you
leaves,
can't-
shovel the
you can't
snow, stuff like that.
Outside chores were my least favorite.
Mow the lawn.
No, early on it was we had to weed the garden. Now, mind you, we had
Oh.
a
Oh, fuck
2-acre
that.
I
garden.
hate weeding.
I did that with my mom.
I
It sucked.
hated it. But Bryce and I made a game out of every time that we were doing something because it was the only way we could pass the time. So my favorite one was rotten tomato ball. So that was really good.
Ew.
Yeah, we used to throw them at each other, and we had this little shitty rake, and it was like about that wide. And if you nailed the tomato in one portion, it would fling it back at the other person. But if you nailed it in a different portion of it, it would
splatter.
explode
Explode
all
on
over you. So it was kind of it was fun. But
It was fun.
later on, it was like get on the tractor and spend 2 hours cutting the grass,
Yeah.
and then weed whip, and then blow everything because I don't like grass clippings on my driveway. Or it snowed outside, so get on the tractor and plow the whole driveway, or get on the 4-wheeler and plow the driveway.
Did you guys get paid for your chores?
I used to get an allowance, but it wasn't per chore. It was more like, hey, thanks for the help. Here's $10.
I think we
I don't
got
remember
paid.
getting an allowance. I mean,
I
know
think we
I
got
was
paid
given
for our
money.
age. Like I'm pretty sure like when I was
got promotions?
8. Yeah, when I was 8, I would
You
get
leveled up.
$8. When I was 9, I get $9. I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it worked. But I remember like as we got older, we got more money because you know I was 12 and Alex was 10, and she was getting $10 and I was getting 12.
Here's the thing I'm noticing. Like, you and your brother are only a few years apart, right?
4.
We're 4 years apart. And you and your sisters that are close to you are pretty close, right?
4 years, 3 years, and 2 years.
Oh,
So, yeah.
okay. That's a lot bigger a difference than I thought. Because, like, her family, they did things completely differently because all the siblings were born within, like, a 4-year span.
Yeah, you guys are all really close in
It was like
age.
5-year span.
No, 5-year span.
Because there was a bigger
year
gap
for one
between
of them.
Sarah and Alex.
Yeah.
My mom tried birth control once.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but then and then Adriana's 10 years younger.
Yeah, I
than
know
me,
that.
So.
But
Yeah.
late bloomers
So
don't
what's your point with the difference?
Well, it's just the chores seem to be different. Like how families raise kids seem to be different when all the kids are very tightly compacted in one age group. Like if all the ages are together, it's easier to just do it all as a group.
Yeah, because you got one kid learning something and the other one, like for us, it was, I learned all these things as I was growing up. I was like, being taught how to talk, walk, blah, blah, blah. Nick came along and I wanted to teach him those things. And then Sarah and Alex came along and they just learned things faster by watching us. So then we all kind of got grouped together where they're like, all of you guys are capable of doing all of these responsibilities at this point.
See, for me, by the
But you
time
did
I
it
was,
all.
I was,
Yeah,
by the time I
did
was
it.
born,
They were capable of doing it, but each one of them had to wait in a line to go poop while we were cleaning stuff because it was going to take them the longest.
Yeah,
They're
of
like,
course
"Oh,
you
I have
gotta
to go to the
poop right
bathroom."
when chores need to be done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Every
and that's
time.
the thing. My parents, or my dad and Tori, parent Adriana differently than they did me, Alyssa, Alex, and Amanda because we were all, together, all being parented in one group, and then she was like a baby.
Yeah, so she's
And then-
basically getting raised as an only child.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, because none of us live in the house
Yeah.
anymore, but so it's just different.
I was reading what my dad said.
Yeah, I see it.
He said he had a rule that we could do whatever we wanted for 30 minutes after work, and then we had to do homework. And he said I had a friend over for video games one day, and I was my dad was outside, but my window was open. And after 30 minutes, I was telling my friend that I had to do my homework, and the friend was trying to talk me into blowing it off. And I said, "Hey, if I don't do my homework right now, my dad will be disappointed."
Oh,
He said that's his best compliment as a dad ever.
Oh.
you said that? Your hammer?
Yeah, I'm Hammer. That's me. Yeah.
Car, did you have a nickname besides Carrella?
No.
Just
Did you have a
Carrella.
nickname?
I mean, Tosh.
They
Tish.
called me Craw sometimes because
Tasha.
I accidentally typed my name on a game wrong, so I forgot the first
Craw.
A. So they called me
My dad called me
Hey,
bleep
Wow.
bleep.
don't drop the R word on the show.
My dad has called me that.
I don't care. Don't drop it on here. You say the R word. What time is it?
You can't bleep it. I, said
I
it
am
twice,
bleeping
I think.
it. I know you did. God
It's
damn it.
1:53 actually.
I think
Not the actual time.
Yeah, I know.
Amanda's Squirt and I was Kiddo.
What?
What? That's a
Like
weird-
Squirt? Like
I was
little-
Squirt. That's what my dad called me.
Well,
know-
you and Amanda are the
you'd
same
be shocked,
person.
You know, with
Vox, but some parents think of the same nicknames for their
You know-
children.
No,
you know,
not
Vox
me.
with the way
Little
time-
fucker, asshat, bitch.
with the
We
way
were-
with the way times have changed that some of those nicknames don't quite sound right anymore.
I think it was me, Alyssa, and Alex.
God damn it!
Stop.
That's three.
I don't
said-
want to. No more T.
She's dropped it
No
literally
R,
5
no
times.
T. Stop.
Doesn't need to be blocked out.
Stop.
6.
Keep one of them in there. So
No.
You want to
the-
keep something in cunt.
No.
Perfect.
And then Adriana's Peanut, and she's deathly allergic to peanuts.
My dad
so.
nicknamed all of us. My oldest brother's Hollywood. My middle brother originally was Doggles with a D because he wore big ass glasses, and now he's Doc because he became a corpsman in the Navy. I'm Hammer, and my 2 little brothers are Mayhem and
Chaos.
Cool.
He's so creative.
Your dad has great nicknames
Yeah.
for you guys.
He's got
Hammer.
he got nicknames for like everyone in the family, so it's fine. Kara's gonna have a nickname eventually.
Yeah, it's gonna be like at our wedding. I'm gonna open up the card from your dad and Crystal, and it's gonna have just like whatever he comes up for my nickname in it.
Bryce's is the only one that my nickname fell off real fast, but Bryce's is Bubba, and they still call him that. So
Aw.
I would have just called you Little V.
people call me LV
Okay,
or V Dubs.
V Dubs.
Yeah, Vox W. So.
One of my ex-boyfriends, his whole family, like they used Buka as a nickname.
Buka?
Yeah.
What does that
Like
mean?
it was, I don't know what it's. They would just say it, but they would just call anyone Buka. It was really weird.
Nice job. Steve said he's gonna have to put the headphones back in so that Nick doesn't start learning all these bad
Oh
words.
my god!
Oh my god.
And this
Sorry,
is all on the
Steve.
live stream, so we can't bleep
Yeah.
those.
No, we don't have to because you can't listen
I
to it
know.
after it's done.
Yeah, so I made a slight boo-boo, and I hope it fixed itself, but I didn't recreate a file.
So it's just
Uh-oh.
one long file with the old one.
It would override it. I feel like it's like recording over tape.
Hopefully, we have a recording.
Yeah, that's really what I'm worried about. But
Oh, by the way, I noticed on the podcast with Shelby and Tony, you bleeped out someone's name that Shelby was saying.
yes.
And then she said it like another 4 times with no bleeps.
Like,
Oh
No,
no.
it was one specific name that she didn't want in there. The
Yeah.
name that I left in
Oh,
there was
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like she was talking about the same person. I was like,
No,
what's going
I
on
think
here?
it was.
That was
and-
the work stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
think I should have bleeped out the other ones, but
What? I can't see what's happening. I'm
you
looking for all
said
our
the
comments.
that family uses Buka for a nickname, but
Mhm.
that's short for Bukaki.
Yeah.
My God, Dad. You should
Disgusting.
know what that is.
sick. Can we do the word of the day? I
Word
have
of the
Oh.
day.
I have a new segment that I want to do.
Is it like an
Oh,
urban
come on, it's a
dictionary
good
word
one.
of the day?
Yes. Never
Oh,
mind.
do we have
we'll
to
do
guess what it
later.
means?
We can do.
I want to know.
We're trying to look up like just like random words on Urban Dictionary,
and then figure out what they
the
mean.
finding
Ooh.
the most bizarre
I'm excited for this.
definition for
I'm
it.
down.
I don't have one. We'll do it next
Like
time.
the Canada sleeping bag, the Canadian sleeping bag.
We'll do one next time because I have 2 good ones.
Why can't we do one now? Is
We'll tell you.
Tosh-
We'll
is
tell you off
Tosh-
the show.
Is Tosh like editing this one? Is she censoring you right now?
Yes.
Well, okay.
I don't want
What?
no
Yes.
censors. What is it?
Well,
I'm
I'm
it's
trying
off
to
the
think
show.
of. I'm trying to think of like
I was trying to see if I missed any more.
random words on
topics
Urban
people
We
wanted to
just
bring
lost
up.
all of our viewers. What happened?
I stopped watching.
We still have 8.
Everyone's gone.
I
But
don't
it
know.
usually tells me
I was
who's
watching and I stopped. That's probably one of them.
It's all right. We're off topic.
Dominic
anyways.
said is the word of the day the R word.
Here. It
Clearly.
should be.
Apparently.
Clearly.
We can Urban Dictionary Buka.
No.
It's
like
probably
BUCCA.
it's probably short for like Sambuca.
BUCA.
Buka. Sounds
Okay.
stupid.
Buka. Short form for the Italian liquor Sambuca.
Sambuca. Called it.
Or exclusive term used for a hot chick with superior intelligence. Well, obviously that's why they called me Buka, because I'm a hot
Oh,
chick
I was
with
going to say those
superior
things don't
intelligence.
exist, but okay.
Hey, happy National.
Misogyny at its best.
A strange yet diverse variety of girl that randomly practices an unprotected sex with unknown members of the opposite sex while intoxicated on Sambuca.
Is this still the definition or
Of
sentence
buka.
that you're saying is like you?
No.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
No.
She doesn't drink Sambuca.
I don't even know what Sambuca is.
They probably called you Buca because you're Italian.
Yeah, well, they called it, like, it was like a nickname that they called
Was it an
everyone.
Italian family?
Yeah.
There you
Can
go.
I
Lovely.
do this word? This is so
No.
funny.
No.
I want to hear it. I need the word. Text it
Does
to
it
me.
have the word she hates in it?
No.
Message it. I want to know.
Anyways, this is a lovely way to close up our conversation about
Apparently, a
parenting
lot of
and
people lost
lightheartedness.
connection to the stream. That's why we lost our viewers.
That's weird.
No.
That is very strange.
Whoops.
Okay, bye.
Wow. Okay.
He's out.
No, what's the
Last-
word of the day,
last
Vox?
Fox is going to stop recording, and then he's going to let us continue babbling and turn off the video.
We can turn off the stream and keep going on the recording. I don't care.
Shelby said she's at work, but she'll tune in later. That was like an hour ago.
So are we wrapping up?
But I don't care.
Tosh?
What?
You're leading.
Oh, we're wrapping up. Are we wrapping up?
Vox said
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't
think
care.
that's the conclusion
We
of
pretty
our
much
parenting
concluded.
topic and
Do we
everything.
have anything
and
else we wanted to talk about today?
we can try out the fun word of the day on next week's episode,
Yeah.
where
well,
we're gonna revisit the couples topics that we did like when we first started the
Yes.
podcast.
Oh.
This is the first time we've
Yeah.
ever like really given.
I
a
have
heads
like
up on what
actual
we're doing the
questions
next
for
Oh,
the
that's
couple
true.
challenge.
That's
so I feel
weird.
like I feel like it'll be a good kind of like circle because Vox and I are living together. You guys are engaged, so we've kind of
It's
like
been a year. It's
grown.
been a year.
Yeah, we've all grown since we did that couples thing.
Wow. Mark made a good point, though. This is the first time on this show that we have ever hinted at what next week's episode
Besides
is
like
gonna
a
be.
guest.
Because you know what we did?
Yeah.
We sat down. We actually planned things out today.
You know
Thanks,
what?
Cara.
Fuck
The
you,
plan-
Cara.
Next time on TF4 podcast.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I hate him.
Okay,
so
well,
much.
please like us on Facebook. You can listen to our streams on, or not streams, but our episodes on TF4 podcast or TF4podcast.com. Yeah.
You're right.
I don't even know where we're
Keep
at.
going.
You can also get our merchandise on Redbubble. We are looking at getting more creative stuff.
Oh.
More stuff that's more different than
I-
just our logo.
I'm going to chime in real quick on
That's who
this.
did.
Cause, no. Actually, excuse me. I told Tosh the other day, I was like, I ordered some mystery things that I want to share, and one of them is shoes. It's not anything to do with TF4. But I did order something from a brand new company for me to try out. But it does have something to do with the TF4 logo. So if this company seems to have some pretty good quality shit, we might be ordering a couple special things that we can't get on Redbubble and
Special things?
make those available. Yes.
When did she say that?
Oh, we're live streaming.
Just
I should
said
probably-
it.
Special things?
My nose itches like
Ew.
a motherfucker.
My nose is old.
All right, sorry, Tosh, you can keep going.
You can also like us on YouTube. Most of our videos are on.
Subscribe to us.
Subscribe. on
Subscribe
YouTube.
to stay notified.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Well, there's a
comment,
little
subscribe.
bell icon you can
Yeah.
Ding ding.
do for notifications.
And then you can also become a patron at patreon.com. Again, thank you, Sam. I did not forget about you this time. I'm sorry. Steve, Dustin, and the goddamn Loch Ness Monster.
I still don't get that joke.
Yeah, me
You
neither.
gotta watch
Do
South
we
Park,
need
man.
to show you that video?
I just don't care about South Park. Like, I just don't like it.
Okay.
Hey, everyone's saying we had a good show. It was a fun one.
Thanks,
And
guys.
All our viewers are
you
leaving
know
now,
what?
so-
It was because everybody participated with so many great suggestions. So
And we
Mark,
were
both of our
organized.
parents
A little
were
bit.
listening.
Yeah.
And no one
That's
argued.
awesome.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
my mom and dad have each other blocked. So
Oh, and that's because
It's the easier way to
your
do it.
dad wasn't listening. I love your dad, but your dad and my dad will like.
they're like
All right.
a mongoose
Yes,
and
like-
a fucking
Okay,
cobra.
thanks for listening. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.